In this video, we're going to make a bridal shower invitation together using Kittl, which is perfect for if you want to start selling templates on something like Etsy, or maybe you just need it for a friend or family member. Kittl is the #1 design tool for this, so let's get started. All right, in Kittl, I wanted to show you that we already have a ton of card templates, and we also have a wedding tag right here, which you can click on, and you can peruse through a ton of pre-made wedding card and bridal shower invitations, anything in the wedding niche. We are adding so many as of late as we move into fall, but we're going to hit new project up here in the top right. And then what we're going to do is click the postcard size and leave it in the vertical aspect. And then I'm going to go up here, I'm going to type in bridal shower card. And then what we're going to do is go to our textures and to our backgrounds feature. So this is a newish feature that we just released recently, and when we click, we can use these as backgrounds. So you see I am clicking through a few of these, and they're really great for if you don't know where to start or if you're not sure what should be in the back. We have thousands of backgrounds for you to use. Now I like these abstract watercolors, and we are going to use one of these for the theme. And if we don't like the color, we can go over here on the right to the hue slider, because it is an image, a high resolution image, and I can simply just change the color of the watercolors in this image. And you could go through a bunch of other settings as well, and you could do this for any one of our backgrounds. So let's hit T and add some text, and then we're going to go ahead and put in the names for our bridal shower, okay? Because it wouldn't make much sense if we didn't say who the bridal shower was for, but we need to find a font that's going to work. So this font Roboto is not really going to work. We need to find an elegant style script font that works with the aesthetic of this card. So I think this one's quite nice, one of the signature fonts that we have. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a slight transformation to give it more of a handwritten effect. We can also click the color and go ahead and change the color of the text, and we can move it around, and we can also edit the transformation if we want. You see here it says wave, and I can move the slider to make it more intense either direction, okay? And I just want a subtle curve to give it more of that handwritten slanted effect. You can duplicate by holding the Alt or the Option key, and then we are going to put married as the second big word, and then of course we are going to put is getting in a different font. So we're going to find this one, which is a nice rounded aesthetic, a rounded sans serif font that still goes with the theme here. So Frankie is getting married, and so that is going to be the basis for the top left portion. But now we need to build what's going to go in the center, which is the information. Now what you could do is add a basic shape, and we could put the important details within a shape. You know, you can make this any color you want. You could fill that in and do what you will with that. But we have these grungy shapes that are pretty new to Kittl. And what we're going to do is add one, because when we work on the color, I feel like it's going to fit the watercolor DIY style aspect of what we're going for here. You can already see the kind of displacement around the sides, the kind of inky, grungy style already kind of matches the splashes of watercolor. Now, if you hold Shift, you can move this over to be any size you want. And then what we can do is go up to the object color, and we're going to select white, and that already gives it a kind of cool DIY stamped effect. Hey, real quick, if you're getting value out of this bridal shower invitation tutorial, let me know by hitting the thumbs up button and then hitting that red subscribe button. It'll take you just 1 second. Then let me know in the comments, are you selling invitation templates on Etsy? Or maybe you are getting married soon, or someone you know is. We'd love to celebrate with you. Let us know and we'll congratulate you. Now let's get back to the tutorial. We're going to select that same adventure style font. Of course, make it smaller and give it a little bit of letter spacing. And then we're going to start putting our important detailed text. Okay, so we've got join us for a bridal shower on, and that's going to be the top portion of our important information. But then we are going to grab a color that makes sense. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. So if I grab the eyedropper tool and use this purple right here, I've selected the purple, and you can see on the color wheel, if I drag it down to the right, it becomes a little bit more easy to see, okay? So I'm not grabbing a color and then leaving it. I'm just kind of tweaking it a little bit. So now we've got October 14th at 5 p.m. We're doing the same idea here. We're going to grab a color for the 14 because 14 is what's standing out. I need people to realize that this is going to be on the 14th. So we're just creating this a little bit of a hierarchy here with what's most important in the details. And then what I'm going to do is find some lines to kind of frame this. Now, we have a really cool section here called Simple Golden Frames. I'm going to show you a neat little hack here. So inside the Simple Golden Frames, we do have some line elements. We have more than just frames in there. Now, you see it's gold right now. But if I use the hue slider, I can move this around to get a color super similar to the watercolors that are in our background. And then you can use the saturation color to get it lighter or darker. And so that looks like it's going to fit pretty well here. I could duplicate again by holding the Alt or Option key and dragging. I'm going to bring this text to the front, which to do, you can hit right click and bring to front. And now what we're going to do is give a little shadow to our text. And then to do a neat little hack, we're going to turn the offset off and we're going to turn the outline up. And the outline creates this cool kind of cut effect through those lines. And so it's just easier to read. Now we're going to add a frame and go through the same process of adjusting the hue so that we can see it in the color that is our background. And it kind of makes it look like it's stamped out from this inky box that we've put here in the middle. So after we go through a couple of adjustments here, just making sure that things are fitting correctly and tweaking it, we can go ahead and put the rest of the details. Again, I'm just copying and pasting this text, which you can also do with Command or Control C and V. So you're going to want to fill out, of course, how you're going to RSVP and all things like that. Now, what we can do is go over into our illustrations category in the left side panel, and we have a section called Wedding Watercolor, which of course is going to fit beautifully with this style. However, if I increase the size of this high resolution image, I think the colors don't quite match, okay? But as you know from the previous hacks, we are going to use our handy dandy hue and saturation sliders to get this to match. So I like it coming out of the corner. However, it's just not going to fit with the colors. So what we can do is we can turn the brightness all the way up, or again, you could go through and try to use your hue and other sliders. We're going to turn the saturation down. We're going to mess with the contrast. And when I turn it around, you can see that this really works. It gives this kind of faded stamped effect to some of these florals. We also have a category called Golden Raw Paint. And what I'm going to do is add a couple of more splash marks on this bridal shower invitation card. So I'm going to add this one. I think this one looks really cool. We're going to use the same method that we did by going and changing the hue. So if I turn that down, it already looks like it's very similar to the watercolor that's in the background. So then I can change the saturation and I can start messing with this to get it where I want on top to make it give it even more of that DIY style. To complete this and tie it all together, we're going to add a texture. So you can click on the textures over in the left side panel, and we're going to want to find some paper to give it that actual real watercolor effect. Now, when you click one in, the effect is extreme, and we can adjust that here as we go. So we'll find one we like, and then what we can do is we can change the opacity slider to get it where we want it. We can also change the blending mode if we want. Right now it's on color burn, but we have a couple others. And then to download it, what we're going to do is definitely download this in 300 DPI so that it prints really well. You can download it in any format that you need for your printer. So here is our completed bridal shower invitation design, completely done in Kittl. I hope you have a ton of fun with this tutorial. Now, if you want to see other tutorials using Kittl, I have these videos here on my right that I know you're going to enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming videos and features and things like that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.